Right. Welcome, everybody. We'll give people just a second to trickle on in. Happy Wednesday morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are dialing in from. I'm super excited for today's Power Hour. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Megan Stokel. I run marketing and audience here at FounderMade. And we launched these Power Hours like beginning of the pandemic, kind of as a resource for our community to be able to continue to build and grow and discover the strategies that you guys need to scale. We're so excited to be relaunching our live events this year and also continuing these Power Hours for you guys. So today we are talking all things TikTok with Danny, who is the social media manager at #paid. We're going to be talking about how you can use organic, paid, and creators to play into your 2022 strategy and deep dive into all of that. So I know a lot of you guys submitted questions upon registration, so we will try our best to get to those. If you have additional questions, feel free to use the Q&A in the chat to ask those. And then we're also going to be giving you guys the opportunity to actually come on stage and join in the conversation. We have Mike, who's the founder of Brands Meet Creators, who will be coming on in a little bit to give you like top tips and best strategies. So if you do want to actually come on screen and join in the conversation, raise your hand. And then once we get to that portion, we will bring you on. And with that, I am excited to pass it over to Danny to kind of give you a little bit more about what we'll be talking about and tell you a little bit about #paid. Danny, take it away.
Amazing. Thanks, Meg. Hey, everyone. It seems like, it's so weird seeing just attendee names, especially when I can't see anyone, but thank you all for coming. I think this is going to be really fun, biased because we're talking TikTok and I spend way too much time on TikTok. Hopefully you guys do too, or you want to then be able to take all the time you're spending and get it to a point where it can actually be turned into a real strategy. So let me start out with this very, very quickly. I don't really want to talk about myself, to be honest. I also don't really want to talk about #paid. I am the social media manager at #paid. I run a podcast too called Creator Culture. Again, all things creator on this side. Who are we as #paid? We're not only a company that sells that shares out really goofy sweaters, but we're a creator marketing platform. So brands will use us, especially in the D2C space. They'll use our platform to discover great creators from our network, be able to connect with those creators, activate those creators, manage their campaigns, measure the results, all that good stuff. I'm sure maybe you've worked with us before, maybe you work with a Creator IQ, a Grin, and Aspire. There's a lot of us in the space. But putting that aside, what I really wanted to get to today was this idea of how should we be viewing TikTok in the next, I'm going to call it 2 to 3 years. I think it's so easy to look at TikTok and get inundated with these trends and the idea of virality. And we see the media picking up companies like Duolingo. Rightfully so, they've killed it. But then every other company is now trying to jump on the mascot trend. The thing is, my question is always why? Like, why are we on TikTok? What are you trying to actually do on TikTok? And are we just trying to follow trends? Or are we trying to create our own community, our own stance, so that in the long run, and truthfully, when I say long run, I really believe TikTok is going to be around for the next 3-4 years at least, and more powerful than we see it today. We can talk about that a little later. But the reason I wanted to bring this today, this idea of unlocking TikTok, is not so much on a tactical level, because that's something that I'm sure you can find ideas out all the time, but it's more of a framework. I want to help everyone here go out of their usual framework in their mind and get to a point where you really understand why TikTok's powerful. And when you can understand why TikTok's so powerful, and it may seem like an obvious statement, oh, it's easy to go viral, but there's more behind it. And when you understand it, it can actually help you build that strategy in that framework that'll lead to 3 to 4 years of growth. What I'm going to say for this conversation is twofold. One, I'm going to talk for 25-ish minutes. Then I'm going to bring on Mike Rama, who is the founder of Brands Meet Creators. He's also a TikTok creator himself, got so much knowledge in the space. And as Meg was saying, I know there's so many questions that were submitted. So we're going to try to get to as many as we can. We'd love to bring you up on stage and just have a fun conversation. Hopefully the conversation doesn't end at the end of this hour. We're both available to just chat TikTok whenever. It's probably something that we enjoy doing. But Mike's going to come on again to answer and almost be the extension to everything I'm talking about here. The last thing I'll say before I actually get into the presentation is if there are questions along the way, please feel free to drop them. If they're relevant to the slides that I'm talking about, I'm more than happy to jump in, tangent a little bit, add some color, and then come back. I want this to be as relaxed, but also as valuable for everyone here. So I'm going to make sure I have the Q&A up and the chat. I should get both of that stuff up. And let's jump into it. And please feel free to hit questions or comments whenever need be. So the first thing I wanted to take everyone through, and I always feel as a marketer, it's super important to understand history. If you can understand history, I truly believe history repeats itself. So the reason I'm bringing this up here is I want to share why and how TikTok became so popular. I don't know if anyone here remembers Musical.ly, but Musical.ly was an app where you could duet and you could voice over songs and you could really just interact with artists and music and create your own content and share with other people. And it was extremely powerful. And TikTok, their parent company, ByteDance, saw this. They wanted to get into North America. And so they bought Musical.ly, they merged it with their own app, Douyin, and they called it TikTok, which we know today. The interesting thing, though, is that the reason they were so successful was because of participation through music. It was so easy to jump on a trend and engage with your favorite artist. And so it went from discovery on app to participation, to discovery to participation. And there was this really strong flywheel. And even if you see it today, music and sounds, challenges and trends are core to the fabric of TikTok. It's how a lot of people have gone viral. It's how a lot of people have gamed the system, but it's also what TikTok looks for. And so if you understand that this is where it's all come from, and this is how it's so powerful and why trends and sounds and music is so important to the platform, it almost helps us understand where we should go as marketers, as founders, especially in the D2C space, where purchasing a product off of TikTok is very, very possible. But I want to take it a step further for everyone. And I want to show you why this is so powerful on TikTok compared to every other platform. How does TikTok operate? Because once you understand this, building your strategy, I truly believe, becomes easier. TikTok makes it so easy to have access to sounds and music and clips that anyone can use to repurpose and participate. Yes, I know there's the legal element, which we can get to, but at its core, those sounds and music allow anyone to come in and participate in those trends or with that music or with that, let's say, community that's going on right now. Because it's so easy to participate and all the tools are there, there are more people creating content off of those tools, more people becoming so-called video creators. And because of their algorithm, that the more content means the more discovery around that idea, around that trend, around that music for more people see it. They then see, oh, this is too easy. I can take the trend and I can participate. And you get this flywheel. And this is how TikTok has built a ridiculous, ridiculous audience, but why they're also so powerful. So I bring all this up to say that we need to get to a point where we can almost mimic why TikTok as an app has been so powerful in our own TikTok strategy. Because if there's alignment there, I promise you, you're going to reach some really interesting results. So my goal here is, how do I get you into the mindset of building long-term on TikTok, not winning today, not going viral tomorrow, but more importantly, I want to introduce you to a concept called the viral or the infinite loop. And this is something TikTok just came out with. It was a report around 2 weeks ago. And from that, I'm going to break it down into how does the organic play into it? How does paid media play into it? And then where do creators fit in? So let's definitely get to it. TikTok ran a really interesting study, and they called it the infinite loop. What they found is that on TikTok, it is probably the most powerful app for full funnel performance in app, even from an organic perspective. Look at these stats on screen. And sorry for the moving numbers that might be a little bit annoying and irritating, right? 1.7 times more likely from a discovery perspective, 1.4 times more likely for consideration to research and find products and brands, and 1.4 times more likely to actually purchase a product. Too easy, though, to talk about numbers, too easy for TikTok to say, okay, well, here are our numbers. Look, we're the greatest app. Hey, advertisers, come spend with us because we can help you. again, there's always an agenda, but the agenda is really important because it comes down to one word that defines TikTok compared to every other platform that is going to be super helpful to all of you. And that's the idea of participation. No other app ever is there such participation around a trend, around content, because they make it, as mentioned, it's super easy with sounds and audio. They have their editing suite and app. All you have to do, it's low quality. It's so easy to get it out. And so TikTok ended up realizing that they actually have this thing called the infinite loop. And it goes like this. A piece of content's put out, and maybe that's around your product or an idea or a service, whatever it may be. And that leads to a bit of discovery, and more people start putting it out and more people are interested in it, and you build a community around it. So then people are looking at not only, oh, I've seen this product or this idea, cool, because more people are talking about it too, that's coming on your For You page. There's that level of consideration, which leads to a purchase, but that purchase comes in two ways. That purchase just comes from, okay, I've seen it immersed in an environment or with people that I know that enjoy it, that I think are pretty similar to me. So there's like the like me aspect where they need it, they feel they want it. But the other side too is some of these brands are doing amazing things with challenges and trends and saying, hey, if you want to be a part of it, grab the product, grab the service, and then be able to make that content, which is where we get to when it comes to this idea of review and participation. When you review and participate through other people creating videos and apps or videos in the app, that leads to more discovery. And here comes the viral loop, right? Going from discovery to consideration to purchase to participation. And if you can get into that loop with your content, with your strategy, and obviously staying to your brand and pushing the message you want and having a ton of fun with it, no one can stop you. And if your marketers here and your founders are asking, how are we going to drive sales? Why are we investing in this channel? You'll have an answer. If you're a founder kind of confused or trying to figure out why is our marketing team doing what they're doing, there's a way to explain how TikTok becomes so powerful. So to get into this infinite loop, there's some groundwork that needs to happen. And it happens by pulling two levers, the organic posting strategy and the paid media strategy. And all of this sits under this idea of working with creators. The thing is, though, when I talk about a creator, it's too easy for all of you to think, oh, yeah, well, Danny, you're from an influencer marketing company. Sounds like you love creators. You're obviously biased, and super true. The thing is, when I talk about a creator, I don't only mean those that #paid and Mike are also working with. I'm talking about, what about your employees? Me as a social media manager, I'm a creator. I create for a lot of our stuff on TikTok. I'm still considered a creator. But more importantly, what about your founders? There's this untapped benefit of being a founder and growing on TikTok, where you grow your organic brand and your personal brand, should I say, and it compounds on the brand that you've built, especially if your name's connected to it. And we're seeing more and more of that. So when I talk about creators, I don't just mean this idea of a creator, an influencer. I'm talking about anyone that can create, internal or external. Let's get to the organic side. As mentioned, I want to talk about mindset. How do you think about this thing? Because it's too easy for me to say, all right, here are the 5 tactics. Here's the 5-step method. You can do all this and you'll go viral. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but that could change in 3 months because of the algorithm. Instead, I want to equip you with the mindset and the perspective so that you can go back, define what you need, and genuinely win. So here we go. Consumer over product. When you think about jumping on TikTok and spending time on TikTok, you're not really going there to interact with a brand. You're going there to either be entertained. Maybe there's a bit of edutainment. You know, you're looking for that education, but also feel something, laugh, cry, be inspired, whatever it may be. We're going there to scroll. For me, I'm on it over 2.5 hours a day. I know it's embarrassing, but that's like 15 to 30-second videos over and over and over. And so I'm there to just kind of lose myself. It's a bit of a release. So focusing on the product is the end goal, because we obviously want people to buy our products, no doubt, but you need to focus on the consumer first. What do they want? We'll then transition into, at the end of the day, what that audience wants and how you can actually sell that product in a very tasteful way. So how do I do it? This is where I'll give a couple tactics. And I know I said I didn't really want to go into tactics because that's a whole other conversation, but I think this is something you can take away and institute today. If you're not, if you may very well be doing this. 4 ways that I do it at #paid. And I've talked to other creators, and this is like consensus. 1, search hashtags on TikTok. Let's say I'm creating content for #paid and I want to talk to creators. So I'll look for the hashtag creators. I'll see what content has been doing really, really well over the past week, 2 weeks. And I'll take note of the concepts, of the editing, of the trends that are used, but I'll also go into the comments and see, well, what questions are being answered, or what resonates with this audience. That's my market research. And then I have a bajillion ideas that I can use for my own content. The second thing about getting an idea is there are search engine, essentially aggregators. I like using Answer the Public. And what they do is you can put in influencer marketing, for example, in February in your region, let's say in the US, and it'll give you all of the search queries around influencer marketing. So again, another way to just think about how you can grab information to think of creative content and concepts for your audience. You can also look at past ad campaigns. What worked really well? What resonated? What did you guys have a lot of fun with? Especially if there's a participation element, or there's a trend element, or there's a spin-off element to who your brand truly is, but you're bringing a different light to it, that can work really well too. And finally, ask the people what they want. Hit IG polls, hit IG stories, and pose polls or pose questions and see what they want, crowdsource some ideas, and you'll have a bank of ideas in no time. So again, consumer focused, not product focused to start. Okay, that's the mindset. Now, when you're building out your content, and we want to get to this idea of the infinite loop so that everything acts on itself and all the content you're putting out benefits each other from an awareness, a consideration, and a conversion perspective, I like to call it the content sandwich as the way I think about it. First, you got your brand focused entertainment. That can be anything. A lot of the time that has to do with trends, right? So companies are looking at what are the trending sounds, what are the trending dances, what are the trending movements, whatever it may be, and they're taking their own spin on it and they're posting that. That's the entertainment aspect. Now, a question I saw come up before when Meg sent me a bunch of the questions that you guys submitted, and it's such a good question, is do we follow trends or do we not? Or what percentage of our stuff is trends and what percent isn't? I'm going to say this. Trends are largely beneficial. Why? Because of what I talked about earlier. That's how TikTok works. They want more participation. They want more people jumping in and being active as a user, not just being a creeper or scrolling for entertainment. They want more videos. They want more participation. So by pushing more trends and making it easier for more people to jump on and share those trends with friends, it's easier to get on the For You page. And when you get on the For You page, you never know what can happen, right? You can spread your message, you can spread your brand, your video all over. So that's beneficial. So you start with that one level, brand focused entertainment. Then you go to category education. This is where, what did your consumers want to see can really come in. And it leads to community, because a lot of the time what will happen is as you're creating these videos, in the comments, people are then going to say, oh, well, how did you get this? Or, well, what about that? Or how do you do this with this product? Or how do you think about this with this service? And then you take those queries and you turn those into videos. And again, it gets to a point where people will rely on you to not only entertain them, but help them in the sphere in which you play, which can be very, very powerful as a jumping off point for this idea of community. I know community is a buzzword, and I know there's a lot more that goes into community other than just posting on TikTok, but it's a way to start it. And that's how I view community on TikTok, is through category education. And then you get to this last part, which is participatory videos. Right? We talk about challenges. We talk about trends. What can you do with your product or your service so that people can interact with it and want to post about it and want to be a part of this environment, this universe that you're creating, so that more people see it, more people jump on. And naturally, if you're participating in a trend, you might have to buy the product. And it very well can create a very strong affinity with that product because there's a really fun experience that's coming along with it. I'm going to give you two examples. One, there's a company called Homesick Candles. What they used to do that I loved is once the wax was all gone out of the glass containers, they would wash out the glass containers and see all right, well, what can we do with this? And I think they'd ask their audience, come up with creative concepts, or you can use it to hold your pencils. You can use it as a vase, as a vase, so many different ideas. And people got really interested in it. And yes, it wasn't specific to candles, but you had to buy the candle and you can still use the candle. So that was interesting. The other side was fruit roll-up. They used to create challenges and games all around who could eat the fruit roll-up the fastest, or who could slide this M&M all across the fruit roll-up to the end. Incredible ways to engage and get people participating. but I don't want to just talk and make you guys feel like, oh, this sounds nice, he's just saying stuff. I want to show you what it looks like for us. My new strategy that is coming out next, well, not coming out, but we're going to start deploying this next week, looks like this: brand focused entertainment. I create a 60-second daily TikTok report every day on TikTok. And it's fun because it highlights some creators and really cool thing brands are doing. And that is my entertainment focus. You come to us every single day. I'll be a little goofy in it. I'll give you some cool news. Then I get to category education. And for us, we are purely focused on creators on TikTok. We don't really play to the brand side or the marketer side. And we want to be the creator's friend. So I'm getting a creator to come and inspire and motivate and talk about the mentality of being a creator and how to become a better creator, so that that community is there and people will say, oh, well, how do you avoid burnout? Or, well, how do you come up with your creative ideas? On and on and on. Then you get to participatory videos, and we're going to create creator challenges. Something like, hey, creator, we need you to use this trend with a pencil in a video under 15 seconds with no sound. Use this hashtag, reply to our comments, and the winner, we'll choose 2 winners. The winners will get, let's say, $100 Amazon gift cards. Get people participating, feeling like they're becoming a better creator, feel like they're actually becoming something, so that it spurs, again, that viral loop for us in the future. The last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to organic strategy is this idea of a main character. You might see some channels, many, many different personalities. You might see ones that are 1. I initially went with 4 back in October to December, and there was an issue. And here's the issue. When I'm looking at a video, and the reason I bring up Morning Brew and this guy, Dan Toomey, who was leading their TikTok before he started to do some other stuff, was unbelievable. I'd see one video, I was like, oh, I like that. See the next video? Oh, wait, I recognize this guy's face. Oh, true, that was good content. You see the next video? Oh, true, hang on, who actually is this guy? Where does he come from? Why is he speaking on this stuff? Then I go into their profile. 1 + 1 + 1, I say 5, it's arbitrary, but it compounds on each other. When you get to know a personality, it works really, really well. If you're just throwing out multiple different personalities around different pieces of content, yes, the videos can still go viral. Yes, people can still get value from it, but you're not creating that familiarity, so that, again, there are these indicators to say, oh, true, this is a hashtag paid video. Oh, this is a Morning Brew video. Oh, this is a homesick candle video, which can become very powerful for audience following and engaging. So I come back again to this loop. How do we get to the point where we go discovery, consideration, purchase, participation for the next 2, 3, 4 years? Because it's going to continue to happen. More e-commerce, social commerce is coming and has come to TikTok. All the tools are going to be there and are there for us. Live shopping is, there's so much that is coming for us full funnel as marketers, that how do we build our strategy long-term so we enter into this viral loop and we sit back and we win? Okay. That was the organic side. Let's talk a little paid. Well, TikTok likes to talk a lot about one statement, and you may have heard it, and they don't do this for propaganda reasons. They do this for good reasons. They say, make TikToks, not ads. And as we talked about at the beginning, the participation, if you're on it for 2 hours a day, you're scrolling through, you're looking for entertainment. If it doesn't fit what you look for, the feeling of the app, the way that you engage, you're gonna blow right past it. Last night, I was on TikTok and actually came across 2 ads, and I was like, oh, let me use this to show the example. Here was the first ad I came across.
At Armstrong, we love hearing from our fans, so we turned your real comments into our jingles.
All right, so it's like a 60:9 ratio. It's highly, highly produced. It doesn't feel like stuff that I'm watching on TikTok. I scrolled right past it until I realized, hang on, I want to use it as an example for this presentation. But now let me show you what they mean about create a TikTok ad. Create TikToks, don't create ads. That's an ad. This is a TikTok.
You didn't know about moisturizer featuring my new favorite product, the Ultra Facial Cream by Q. Number 1. It helps soften and smooth the skin as it contains an ingredient called squalene, which strengthens the skin's natural.
So what are they doing here? Well, this is very indicative of TikTok. You have voiceovers, you have text on screen, you have animations, you have a very quirky or like an interesting personality. That's a TikTok. That's something that I will watch to the end and realize, oh, wait, they say now purchase now. If I'm the right target audience, okay, cool. Yeah, let me go check it out because it makes sense. It feels very conducive to the environment. So that's what I want you to think about. Again, how do we create TikToks all the time, no matter if it's organic or paid media, so that we get to this viral loop, we get to a point where people want to just watch our stuff. And because it's so good, they'll naturally start realizing, oh, wait, I can purchase this. Oh, wait, this is something I can do. So how do we do this? Well, I think that's pretty simple. You start posting organically, you start seeing what concepts resonate, where you go viral, where you have better views, and you take those concepts and you completely repurpose them into paid ads. And it works really, really well. A week and a half ago, I was talking with a founder of an agency out of the UK, ecom growth agency. His name's Ollie Hudson. He runs Soar with us, and they're testing a ton on TikTok right now. And he said that's how he approaches it with new clients. Never been on TikTok. Well, we got to go with an organic push for a month, 2 months, see what works, see what doesn't. Once stuff works, start repurposing it on ads. Because if you create TikToks, not ads, it's not going to feel like an ad. Someone will watch it through, and there's a better chance they will engage with it later. I'll get a little bit tactical here, just in terms of sharing from a paid media landscape, what is available. And the reason I'm talking paid media, and you might be thinking, well, this doesn't really lead to that infinite natural loop that you were talking about. Well, we have to drive sales somehow, especially in the short term. And they have some amazing products. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. 3 types of ads. 1, Spark ads. Think of it as a boosted post. The reason this is so powerful is because you are boosting the post that was created, either from the creator, if let's say you sponsor a creator or you work with them for an influence marketing campaign, or your own content on your page. The benefit here is you still get to see the likes, the comments, and the shares on it. So it acts as social proof. If I see a TikTok that maybe has the shop now button, but it's got 200,000 likes and it's got 10,000 shares, I'm going to look in, what is this? Why is everyone so interested? What am I missing? Dan, I see your question. Let me get to it in a sec. Then there's the regular ad. So the regular ad standalone through TikTok's ad manager. Again, the value here, more extensive targeting, more options, more control, just like you would on Facebook ad manager. But if you make it feel like a TikTok, still be as effective. And finally, they just released something called Instant Pages. This was, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. And think of it as a landing page on TikTok. Now, the benefit here is you can go get so creative with it. There can be a choose your own adventure. You can have it where people can scroll through different products and different scenes and different use cases. There can be different music going on. It's really interactive, and it's such a cool ad unit. Yes, that doesn't feel like a TikTok, but if there's so much engagement that you build into this instant page, you're going to win. I know it's too easy for me to say you're going to win, but I really like the format, especially even as a user. So this is what the stuff looks like. Spark ads. What you're going to see, again, you're going to see all the engagement on the right. You're going to see their handle. You're going to see the caption that was created. You're going to see the shop now button. The thing, though, is when you click Kiehl's Canada, for example, you're going to actually go to their TikTok page. So you can continue that discovery process. When there's the regular ad, and let's say I click Lumen Skin, I'm actually going to go to their website. I'm going off app. And also, all this engagement on the regular ad is purely just from the regular ad. So it could be doing really well. And again, we could get to that level of social proof, but so much easier to ride the wave of what's working really well than to try reinvent the wheel. And finally, here's your instant pages. Again, many different formats you can go about, but this is a TV show called Galaxy Mission, and they allowed you to go on your own adventure, right? Do you want to be astronaut Ellen or astronaut Joyce? And you went down this little funnel and got to experience different things and understand what's happening in the show. So there was this like transformation element to that instant page. Super, super powerful. And the final thing I'll talk about is, all right, well, who's creating these TikToks, these ads, or who's creating this organic stuff? Well, I'm going to get to Dana's question really quickly. Dana said, is it better to create TikToks yourself as the brand or partner with creators who already have a following? And what is the right rate to pay a creator partner? 2 really good questions. The latter is a deeper conversation. I'm going to answer the first one, Dana, and hopefully I'm saying your name right, but we can definitely take that offline, or maybe that comes up when I bring Mike on in a couple minutes. When you said, is it better to create TikToks yourself as a brand or partner with creators who already have a following? It really doesn't matter. I'll be straight. It really doesn't matter. What matters is storytelling. What matters is really good content, understanding the platform, mixing trends with your own type of content, your own branded content. So if you can find a creator who's unbelievable and they have no following, go about it. I'm working with a creator starting next week who has 2.5K subs on YouTube and has like maybe 1,000 on TikTok. She's just an unbelievable creator. Now, you can also do it yourself. It doesn't really matter. The value is maybe in your space, Dana, like maybe there's an element of you understanding that there's a lot of value from working with a certain person and who has likeness in your space, and there's validation there. Maybe then you get them to work or you work with them because of their likeness, because of that social proof that they bring. But other than that, it comes down to storytelling. Can you get people to watch the videos? Can you get people to share them? And if it's someone internal or it's someone external, it'll be the same. About paying the creator, we can get to that in a second, but I want to wrap this up so I can bring Mike on and we can answer a lot more of these questions. So we talk creators. And as mentioned, creators can be anything. It can be creators through our platform, right? It's very easy for brands to come on, create a very quick brief on #paid, and then find unbelievable creators. And it could be for an influence marketing campaign. It could only just be for content, or if you're looking for someone to be the face of your TikTok, Mike does something very similar with his own agency, Brands Meet Creators, where you come and you tell him what you're looking for and he'll find a great creator from his network. Or it can be a social media manager, or it could be a founder. And so why creators? 3 quick reasons. They're your creative directors and your market researchers. These are the people that are on the apps. They're coming up with ideas all the time. It takes a lot of time to come up with ideas. It takes a ton of time to come up with market research. So it's much easier from a time to value perspective to actually engage someone who's doing this full time. Now, then you may ask, well, what about the founder? The founder has to run the business. How are you doing that? Well, there's easy ways, right? Where you can create a series and you can film everything, you batch it over a weekend, and then you cut it all up throughout the next 2 weeks. Second thing, well, it takes time again to test. And it's very hard to figure out what works because you have to just throw stuff out and test. So having someone that is dedicated, whatever that creator is really powerful. And finally, you want to minimize time to learning and maximize returns. You don't want to wait 3-4 months to be like, does this work? Does it not? No, you want to go in every day. You want to come up with a TikTok. Does it work? Are you testing concepts? Are you tweaking? And this comes down to that one myth where people say, oh, you need to post 2 to 3 times a day. I don't know what Mike's perspective is. He may have the same as mine. He may not. It's always a debate. But I say this, it does not matter how much you create. The more you create, the better chance you have at more signal and getting to the For You page. But do you need to create 2-3 videos a day? I don't think so. Duolingo, when they were at their height, they were creating 3-4 times a week. Does it really matter? I don't know. But we want to learn as fast as we can to see what works so we can latch on, we can build our own infinite loop, and we can start seeing returns. I talked about the different types of creators, right? The creator, the employee, the founder, all really powerful, all have their own value. No one better than the other. Just depends what works for you. So to end this all off, because I spoke for a little bit too long, we talk about the map to your own infinite loop. You find your creators. You build and test your content sandwich, as we were calling, as I had framed it, but call it whatever you'd like, so that we can then build our own infinite loop and get to the point where, again, our TikTok has its own funnel. It builds an amazing affinity with our followers, our audience, on our brand. It helps to convert to our product, our service. And we feel that TikTok can impact across the business. And you take best performing concepts and then go run ads against them too, to drive more, because you have more control, to drive more of a performance. Well, that's it for me. Mike, I don't know if you're around right now. Oh, there he is.
I am here. What's going on, Danny?
All right, Wicked. Let me stop sharing this. Dude, all right, there's obviously a lot that we can talk about. But before I jump in, I wanted to intro you, but no one better to intro you than you. Why don't you just give everyone here quick 30-second thing on who you are, what you do, what you're up to?
Absolutely. First off, want to say thanks for having me on, and I loved that first presentation that you went through. Agreed with a ton of the points that you had on there. For everybody listening, my name is Mike Rama. I'm the founder of Brands Meet Creators, a TikTok marketing agency. I help brands to partner up with content creators. I am also a content creator myself, so I've been growing a following on TikTok over the past year. And yeah, just here to answer a ton of questions. Hopefully I can provide a ton of insight into this space.
Amazing. So we say, all right, there's a bunch of questions that I know were submitted. Dana's hot in the comment section with cues. If anyone else wants to start throwing questions up, please feel free. But what we can also do is we can bring you up. So if you want to ask a question and you want to come up, I guess maybe just indicate to be like, yeah, I'm down to come up. But I guess we can go. Let's start here. Let's start slow. The question comes up a lot. Do you hire a creator? As Dana was saying, it's better to hire a creator yourself. Should you do it in-house? If let's say assume that we want to hire creators, what should any of these D2C brands or any of these marketers that are listening right now, what should they be looking for in that creator? so that they
Right.
don't fall into the trap of, oh, they have 100,000 followers on TikTok, they'll probably help us get to 100,000.
Right. So where I really like to start is before I even go like looking for a content creator, I like to kind of wrap my head around a loose strategy first, right? You know, your strategy is not going to be completely dialed in day one, but I at least like to have a vision for what I want this account to look like. So first doing research, right? Seeing other brands in the space who's performing well, getting an idea of the type of content that you want, and then going out and finding the correct creator for that. I always like to say, let's not try to fit a square peg in a circle hole, right? Let's find a content creator who's already making that style that we're looking for. They have a proven track record making that style. And so there's less of like a learning process there. And so for a lot of these scenarios, I'm looking for someone who is versatile, right? They have a ton of different tools in their toolbox. I typically don't want to hire someone who the only style video they do are the 10-second trends where they're just doing voiceover text on the screen, right? I like to see that they can do the day in the lifestyle content. They can talk to the camera. They can do a little bit of like video editing in there. They can show themselves traveling, like a ton of different things, because that way as a brand, it gives you more options, right? As opposed to having someone who's like, they have one lane and like, that's the only style of video that they can create.
Got you. So then if we take what you're saying there, and I definitely agree, if we're taking what you say there, is there an easy way to, other than just finding creators by looking up creators, like, or just watching their content, should I say? And this isn't me here to plug hashtag paid or plug you, but how do brands go about finding these creators and can identify what you're talking about? Because I think it's so important, right? Can they be versatile? Because things might work, they might not, but you need to test.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I think that's like one of the problems that both of us try to solve, right? Is like, how do we help to like locate this talent? And for a lot of these creators, you know, if you're a brand kind of looking to do this on your own, it's going to be a lot of just manual work, right? I tell brands like, hey, you got to get to know the app first, like get in there, start scrolling, start finding content creators that you like. And if you really want to get in contact with them, most times they have like a email listed, or you can link through onto Instagram. That's really the best way. I mean, I know there's a ton of different tools out there to help with like searching. You can also do a lot of searching yourself, either through hashtags or just searching for videos. But a lot of it comes down to just as like a brand owner, just getting in the app and just getting more familiar with the feel.
Would you say that's important outside of just building your strategy? Would you just say that's important for any D2C brand, founder, executive suite, is to just jump in and at least spend 30 minutes, an hour each day trying to understand what's going on?
Absolutely. I highly recommend that, because then as a founder, now you're able to at least provide a little bit more guidance. You might be able to pinpoint where things are going wrong, as opposed to just completely outsourcing it. And then you have no idea what's going on. So yeah, I do recommend just starting to get used to the app, right? Get in there every day for 30 minutes and try to basically rig your For You page so it's showing videos that are relevant to you. So one of the first things I recommend brands to do is like, hey, go in there, follow maybe 10 competitors, follow 50 content creators who are in this space, and just start to really consume videos that make sense for your brand. So that way you don't just have all this random stuff popping up on your For You page, and you're using it less as like an entertainment platform and you're using it more as like a research tool, because the platform is so addicting, and it can be like you can forget sometimes. You'll just scroll and you'll be like, oh wow, I forgot that I was on here for like business purposes to do research, and next thing I know, I'm watching a video of like a cat, you know, doing something. So that's something I recommend, is like trying to set up your For You page and train that algorithm for success, so you're using it to research.
I like that. I think it is, outside of just entertainment, there's so much that you can learn from on the app. Like, not only is TikTok pushing, learn from TikTok, but there's many communities all over that you can dive in and genuinely learn so much. I think there's a story of people have been diagnosed with, like, they've been able to self-diagnose ADHD or something like that from it, which there's dangers to that for sure. But there are these success stories where like they were struggling with something their whole life. They didn't know what it was. They started to consume and they're like, oh wait, hang on, this is exactly what I'm dealing with.
Yep.
Oh, my life could potentially be better. the question just came up from Appley. Oh my God. I said Appley instead of Emily Apple. She talks about how there's a couple questions in there, but the one I think we could probably get at, I brought my perspective through the presentation, but as someone like yourself who works with brands, finding creators to try build that strategy so it is sustainable, what do you suspect when a brand comes to you for the first time and says, all right, we want to jump on TikTok, we want to figure out how do we win in this space? Are you telling them only go with one person? Are you telling them audition two people? Like, how do you think about that for everyone here?
It's a great question. And it's one of the most common ones that I get. Every single brand will ask this question. And there's really no 100% correct answer. And I'll give you both sides of the story and where my perspective is. I believe that one face is truly the best route to go because of some of the concepts that you spoke about, Danny. When we're scrolling, you remember the face, right? You're not going to remember the Morning Brew logo. You're not going to remember the hashtag paid logo. You remember that person's face. So when you have an account where there's 10 different faces, now the connection built there is less, right? Because I could watch 10 videos and now they're of 10 different people and I might not even connect the dots that all of those were the same account. Versus I see 10 videos, it's all the same person. And now that connection is built and it adds up across all of them. So I think that's the best route to go. However, for a lot of brands, it's so difficult to make that commitment, right? There's a huge level of trust. And then the question becomes, well, what happens if I hire this content creator 3 months down the road? They say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Now I got an account that just has this one guy's face and that's it. And that's a big problem for a brand. So there are some worries there. So like in an ideal world, you could have one content creator who would become that face of the brand on TikTok. Of course, there's a lot of trust that would have to go in there. So oftentimes I do recommend hedging bets a little bit and putting like maybe 2 people on the account. But then the issue becomes, and it's super important if you go this route and you have multiple creators on the page, finding a way to connect everything so that people can connect the dots, right? It doesn't just feel like, oh, there's 3 people in here that just have like different videos, but finding a way to build some type of unity across all 2, 3, however many it is, so that maybe you guys are doing series and like multiple people are in on that same series, right? Finding a way to like mesh that all together. That's how I kind of think of the one creator versus multiple creator dilemma.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's something that we think about all the time. Like I'm hiring 2 and we're going to figure out if 2 works. But that point of like, what is that bonding agent? I think is super, super important. Like if you can, to your point, if you can figure out that bonding agent, then Emily and her team are killing it on TikTok because of that familiarity. Guys, we can keep going, but does no one want to come up? Oh, Claudio, do you want to come up? Can you face the music? Do you want to come up and say what's up? How many videos should I post on TikTok every week? And how does the TikTok algorithm work? All right, well, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to. Me and Mike genuinely are nice guys, and we are here to, to just have some fun. I will say, I'm going to divert to you, Mike, on that first question. And then I'll add some color on the second, and then we can go back and forth on it. And Claudio, if you want to come say hi, you can always come say hi.
Okay. So another great question. How many times should I be posting? It's another one that's like extremely common. I get this question all the time. And another reason why this question comes up is because there's no one right answer. There's no definitive, like, boom, here's the answer. Everyone knows it. And so that question goes away. So this question will always be here. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing in my strategy, how often I'm posting, and how I think about this. So right now I post between 1 to 3 every day. So typically around like 15 a week. I've gone from doing 1 a day. I've gone all the way up to posting 5 a day. So I've tested a ton of these different things. So I have like some feedback and some data to work with here. And you'll see some of these huge accounts that they post maybe only 2-3 times a week, right? Way, way less often. And so as a newer account and as a newer content creator, I think it's important to be posting a lot more than 1 a day. And it's not necessarily to grow your account faster, like posting more. It's more of getting the reps, right? You're putting out videos out there. So now you can get feedback, right? Because in the beginning, you don't know what works. You don't know what resonates with your audience. And 2, you're new at this whole game. You're new in this whole space. So the more you can post, the more feedback you're going to get from TikTok, and the quicker you're going to be able to optimize. And so in the beginning, it's less so about we're going to put out a ton of videos because that's what's going to make us grow quicker. It's actually, we're going to put out a ton of videos because that's doing the work. That's going to make us better. That's going to allow us to learn what's working. And then as you get larger, as you become a bigger account, that volume can kind of come down. And that's typically what you'll see across a lot of these accounts. Once they get, 500,000 followers, they've kind of cracked that code. They understand what works, and they can do, one post every day. And that post will have a ton of success because they put in that work to figure out what resonates with their audience. So that's how I think about how often you should be posting.
Makes sense. Yeah. And I think for everyone here, like Mike's perspective it seems spot on from what I'm seeing as well. Again, I wouldn't say fall into the myth of everyone's like, oh, you need to post multiple times a day. Like you don't, as Mike was saying, like you don't have to, but there are advantages. Like you get time to learning is so much faster. And I think as Mike was saying, like when you can get to that point where you're confident in what you're doing and your cadence and who you are on the app, then you can win. Then you really can win. To the second point of that question, I'll show this very quickly because I see some other questions coming in. Here is how the algorithm works at a very, very high level. So think of it as, someone explained it to me like this, and I really like this analogy. Think of it as a live audition. So at the end of the day, you put out a video. That video is your audition. And that video is then going in front of a panel. And that panel is some of your followers and some people that don't follow you. Based off of all the interactions, what you're then getting is essentially a score. And people are like, oh, are you going to go to the second round? Are you going to go to the Hollywood round of American Idol? Throwback to people who used to watch American Idol. If so, then TikTok's going to spread it to a larger amount of people. And that flywheel is going to that system's going to keep happening. What you have to understand is TikTok wants people to stay on app for 2, 3, 5, 10 hours a day. And so they're going to push content, which they know people are interacting with, that they're sharing, that they're liking. And so this is how it works. So you may have a great video, but for some reason it just doesn't catch. And that's unfortunate. You may have another video, you have no idea why it goes viral, but it did. But that's how they think about it. There's a scorecard and they've got levels. And if it keeps interacting, people like it at each level, they just keep blowing it up. And that's how you'll get, for example, like we had a video go viral in October and I had an influx of people from Ghana. I had no idea how I got to Ghana, but I got to Ghana because that's just, I guess, the people that ended up liking it. Enough on the algorithm, which we can talk to more, but I think there's some good questions here. So Katrina, you're talking about what is a really great example of a long-term TikTok strategy in your mind. I'm assuming you're talking about a brand. Katrina, can you confirm? Are you talking specifically about like what brand has a great long-term strategy, or are you just talking about like a specific strategy that can work long-term? Okay, a brand. I don't want to talk too long on this. And Mike, I'd also be interested to see like who you think of in terms of like great brands that you look to. I think one that's great is Run Gum. They are a D2C brand around, and I think it really is just gum to help with, I think maybe it's performance or recovery. And they do a really good job of educating, plus getting their founder in there with series and different content. And so naturally what happens is you start seeing that flywheel, so that they do go with a couple trends from the start. Then there's that education piece where they're talking about working out and being a healthier athlete. And then there's the interactive stuff where they've gone to the streets. I think they film like 20, 30-minute videos with their founder, Nick, and it's all different challenges. And they just cut that up day in, day out. And so it works in a really interesting flywheel. And I think we know that the creator that started helping them. And I think they're at a point now where it's like 60% of their sales come from TikTok. So again, you can search up Run Gum, but Mike, is there something or someone that you can think of?
So yeah, I kind of want to answer this a little bit differently, actually. Instead of going like brand examples, just in terms of like a long-term strategy that I think is beneficial. So I see a lot of people trying to like game the algorithm and like really trying to like learn like, oh, what exactly does the algorithm want? And for me, how I see it is like, at the end of the day, it's going to continuously change, and we're kind of going to go through the same progression as like SEO, where there was all the backlink stuffing and the keyword stuffing. And where now it's at the point where it's just like Google just wants the best content, right? Same thing is happening for TikTok, right? You can try to find these games of like oh, a 6-second video with this does really well right now, and then like next week it might not do well. Where my mindset is like, let's just make stuff that's really, really good. Let's stop worrying about all of the like little tiny things. Like how can we kind of game the system here? So that's one thing I wanted to share. And then another question that I think is really important to ask yourself as a brand is, as you're looking through your content, ask yourself, why should someone follow this account? Because I see a ton of brands where it's like, they just want to put their product out there, right? And they're just like, oh, we'll just make stuff that's like relatable. It's like maybe a little funny, it has our product in it. And like, that's our strategy. And at the end of the day, those are the accounts that struggle. And I go to their page and I'm like, look, like I get a little chuckle here and there, but why should someone follow this? Like, there's not that much reason. And so I think if you can dig a little deep and answer that question, like what's the real value that we're providing here? And let's say someone followed this account for 3 months and they never bought our product once. Would they still get value from this account? Or is this all about just like trying to push that product? Those are the questions that I would look to answer.
And it's a little bit of a hot take, but it reminds me of, so you take a look at what Duolingo is doing now. I guess they were super hot because of their unhinged mascot.
Mhm.
What they're doing now is ridiculous. Like it to me, like, sorry, Duolingo, if anyone's here from Duolingo or, you know, or you used to work at Duolingo, I just think it's crazy now. Like they can ride the hype because they have it, but now you have like Microsoft getting like Clippy as a mascot, and you're getting like Hootsuite as a mascot too. And to your point, it's such a good question. Like, what is the why? Like, if you cancel all the noise, like what value, why do you want people to follow you? What do you want to be known for? Which I think I heard you say, which is super, super smart. I really, really like that. And I think everyone here like really, really internalize that and see how TikTok was super popular in 2019 too. But what was popular in 2019 it's not popular now, yet you can still blow up and build your company off of TikTok today. So as Mike was saying, don't follow that algorithm, because it's like playing the house at a casino. You're never going to win. But how do you build long term? I think it's such a good perspective. Let me see. All right. Who else came in with a question? Let me see. Does D2C brands? Okay. Carla, you were saying, what do you do if you're a small brand with limited resources, paid activation with influencers, or own content on your own channel? I'm going to go a million times over your own content, your own channel. I think at the end of the day, working with creators, super powerful. And I preach it all the time at #paid. The thing is, it needs to be a part of your strategy. It can't just be your strategy, because you'll build some hype, but then people come back to your page and what do they know? As Mike was saying, what do you want to be known for? Why are they there? Why are they going to try to get value from you? So I would say 100% your own content. Mike, do you have a different perspective, something to add?
Completely agree with that. I'll kind of walk through like the economics of like both sides of the equation here too, because I think there was a question earlier. It's like just around pricing. But let's say you're on a limited budget. I don't know what that means, limited budget, but let's call it, $5,000 a month, $3,000 a month, whatever it is. If you go the sponsored post route, right? Or I think you called it influencer activation, that might get you, 3 posts on a couple accounts that have, 100,000 followers. So you don't have a lot to work with there, right? And if you swing and a miss on a couple of them, like boom, there goes your whole monthly budget. Versus if you hire a content creator, there's a ton of content creators out there that will make you a piece of content every day for $5,000 a month. Like I've landed a ton of deals like that for brands. So now you go from, okay, we're going to leverage other people's audience and we're going to do a couple posts and like, let's hope that converts to sales, versus, okay, now we're going to get 30 pieces of content that we own. Now we can start to get some feedback. We can start to actually develop a strategy. We own that content at the end of the day. Now it can go on Instagram Reels too. We can run it as ads and we're building our own asset. So like for me, it's a no-brainer. Go your own content route.
Yeah, nothing else to say. I think that was really, really well said. Okay, what other questions do we have here? I know, okay, Alex was asking a little earlier. I think it gets into this idea of an older audience. So Alex, you're mentioning my brand's at Premium Underwear, make some funny content on IG, but you feel like those are probably more effective on TikTok. But how do I just need to adjust for audiences? Okay, so I think what you're trying to get at is like, is there an audience beyond like 40, 50 years old? It seems like, okay, cool. And then I think, Jessica, you sent a question, something similar, like what is the upper bound in terms of your target audience age? both really good questions. Mike, I'll hand it over to you. How do you think about that age
Yeah.
gap for those demos?
Great question. So actually right now, the older demographics that's the fastest growing segment on TikTok. Like right now, it's
Really?
still, yeah. It's
Wow.
still like dominated by the younger, and it's the fastest growing, right? Of course, it doesn't mean it's the largest, but it's like growing percentage wise.
Sure.
And if you kind of think of the life cycles of these social media platforms, right? Like that's what Facebook is now, right? There's no one younger than us that's on Facebook constantly, right? They're all on these other platforms, but that's typically how these waves move. So like if you do want to target an older audience and you're looking to get on TikTok now, like you're coming in, there are people there, but you're kind of coming in like before that wave too, because there's so much more room to grow. So that's one thing. Two, I would lean into the paid side a little bit more, because with the organic side, of course, you can't necessarily target by age, but on the paid side, you can do like the age bucket targeting. So if you're specifically targeting those ages, it's something where you start with the organic content, and then when you want to boost it, run those Spark ads like Danny talked about, you can actually specifically target those demographics. And I think the question came up earlier too around like local businesses. I'll just touch on this as well. Very similar, where like it's super hard organically to just target like your own city. There's tons of accounts out there that do it. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's just a little bit harder because, you know, I could put my video out there, it gets 10,000 views. Now, instead of all 10,000 of those people being able to potentially purchase my product or whatever, out of that 10,000, maybe only 1,000 actually go out to my city. So I kind of like limit it a little bit more. However, with the paid side, you can target specific regions as well. So you can lean into that a little bit more.
So smart. I like that idea of being defined with your dollars, like minimizing spillage, ad spillage, especially on the upper bounds. So to those that are dealing with an older audience, I think Mike just gave you like the key, the unlock. Yes, it's maybe not as fun because you want to be creating, you want to go viral. But at the end of the day, what does that viral actually do for, as Mike was saying a little bit earlier, the why? Like, what do you want to be known for? What I'll do is I'll post, so I'm just going to share this Twitter account below. There's a girl named Savannah Sanchez. She goes by Social Savannah. She's all things TikTok ads, unbelievable presence. She's always posting different concepts, creative concepts that work on ads, why stuff works. She has her own course. I would highly recommend following her, along with following Mike, to get to this point of like, can you start sourcing inspiration without having to come up with everything for yourself? In terms of, okay, it seems like we're at 157. My guess is that we are coming to an end. We'll go with one more question. What I will say is, as an extension to this, we're bringing on another TikTok creator and consultant, very similar to Mike. It's a guy named JT Burnett. Next Thursday, we're doing like it's a cool like live TikTok demo where he's going to choose 3 brands and build the strategy out for them in real time. So if you want to essentially hear what Mike's talking about, but in real time, or potentially want to get your brand to that point where you can get that strategy, I'll leave the link in the chat. So if you want, you can sign up. Obviously, no need to, but I think it'll be cool to take again what you're hearing from Mike and see it in practice. The last thing, all right, let's pick one last question. I don't see Meg pop up yet, so we'll pick one last question. Let's see. All right, Heather, you came in with I think a couple, but let's see if we can get to some. So what D2C brands do you think have a great TikTok sales generating ads, would like to also start researching ads? Facebook has an ad library to research brands, active ads. Does TikTok have an ads library? Okay, so I think, again, a couple questions here. But what D2C brands do you think have great TikTok sales generating ads? Mike, do you have any top of mind in terms of concepts or brands?
Yeah, none specifically in terms of like, hey, here's an individual brand that I think does a really good job on the paid side, but I will drop some info to like a couple research tools that I absolutely love to use. So TikTok, similar to like the Facebook ad library, they do have their own like internal resource where you can go and basically just do this research. I believe it's called the TikTok Creative Center, and there's a section on there that's just for ads. A couple things to note though, it's not fully comprehensive. It doesn't have every ad in there. So it's only the ads that basically the advertiser approves to be shown, which I'm guessing is likely a small percentage. There are some other tools out there that are very beneficial that basically show you all ads that are running. And I'd love to check these out. I'll link one of them right now.
Cool.
The like user interface and like the wording on here is a little bit weird. I think it's like based out of another country. But it does exactly what you need it to do. It basically shows you all ads that are running on TikTok. You can filter by like how many impressions they have. You can filter by spend. You can filter by like the different categories. So let's say you're like a beauty brand and you're like, okay, I want to run TikTok ads. You can just go, I just dropped it in the chat. You can go to that website. You can type in like mascara, hit the enter, filter by US, NC, filter by impressions. And now you can see like, here are the top 100 TikTok ads by impressions under the keyword mascara. Super powerful.
That's yeah. What a way. Oh, you can see it in the live chat. Oh, really?
I did host and panelist. Maybe that's oh no, I gotta do everyone. Yeah, let me drop it. I'll do it one more time.
Oh, am I only? Oh, I think I'm doing the same thing as well. Hang on a second.
I
Oh,
will
that makes
pull these links for you guys, and I'll send along with the recording of this amazing session and the links that Mike and Danny shared. I will follow up in an email to everybody who tuned in today and registered so that you guys have all the resources in one place.
amazing. Well,
Awesome.
say to everyone here, yeah, thank you so much for coming in, spending an hour. Hope you got something out of it. Please feel free to hit Mike. He's probably more valuable than me in the TikTok space, but if you want to talk to me for whatever reason, happy to as well. And hope you guys have an awesome day.
Yes. Thank you guys, everybody. Thank you, Danny and Mike. I will leave your guys' info up here. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Be sure to get in touch with them. Thank you guys. And we're 2 minutes over, so I will let you all go and get back to your Wednesday afternoons.
Amazing.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank
Easy.
you.